Thanks to the Italian G20 for hosting this, and to the T20 process. I'm absolutely delighted. We have, in fact, three big interconnected agendas: decarbonizing the energy system, as Fateh Birol just emphasized, sustainable land use to stop the disaster of loss of biodiversity. And that will be taken up at the COP15 in Kunming, China, of the Convention on Biological Diversity in October, and making the world food system work properly to produce healthful foods for all and in a sustainable manner. And that will be the subject of a special summit at the United Nations in September. So September, food; October, land use and sustainability; November, Glasgow and COP26. This is a big and complicated agenda. Governments need a new kind of planning and policy. Every government should show up to COP26 with a plan to decarbonize their energy system by 2050. This requires a new kind of analytics, a pathway analysis. And this is happening in many parts of the world, but many governments are still looking at 2030 or 2035 and incremental steps, not understanding that we're on a different mandate now, which is to get to zero by mid-century. Similarly, governments need clarity on land use policies to stop the loss of biodiversity, and the food system issues, which will be taken up in September, are even more complex because diets around the world are unhealthy. Many people don't have enough to eat. 2 billion people lack vital micronutrients, and 1 billion people are obese, largely because of unhealthy food processing by our food industry. These are all interconnected challenges, though, because land use is a major contributor to the greenhouse gases, sometimes estimated to be 1/4 or 1/3 of all greenhouse gases emanating from the land, whether deforestation, other land degradation, methane release, nitrous oxide release, and so on. Food obviously depends on land use. Our dietary choices, too much beef in feedlot cattle, leading to too much pressure on the land for feed grains, leading to deforestation and destruction of forest margins. So my basic point is that we're on a different kind of politics and planning now. Thanks God we have a new government in the United States of rationality and commitment to environmental sustainability, strong commitment. This means that Europe, the United States, China, Korea, Japan, Canada, UK, many other countries are taking strong commitments. We need to back those strong commitments with a new kind of analytics and new kind of policy to solve these problems, not just talk about them, by showing the pathways to sustainability and doing that pathway analysis for these three huge interconnected sectors: the energy system, the land use in its full complexity, and the food system. From farm to fork, as the European Union says. So we have a lot of work to do. I think the T20 members can play a very big role in this kind of comprehensive pathway analysis this year. And we must hold our governments accountable for moving beyond incrementalism and nice words to clear pathways to sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sachs. You were very clear, a lot to think about. And now I would like to discuss with you about the World Happiness Report, in which you coordinated that report, and which is written that sustainable development is a key dimension for the human well-being. Can you explain something more about that? What does it mean for also for the G20? And so what could the G20 achieve this year to help this concept of sustainable development that is so close to our well-being, human well-being?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the first point is economics got off on a different track 2 centuries ago when it said that the goal of the economy was wealth. And when everyone was poor, that made sense. But our goal now has to be well-being, not wealth. What is the point of gaining the world if you lose your soul, to quote the Bible? This is really the issue now. We don't need more wealth if it ends up destroying us. That's not well-being. So we measure well-being by asking people about the quality of their lives in the World Happiness Report. And we see that the countries that are moving to sustainable development are also the countries with the highest well-being. You can have a rich country like the United States, but until recently, we were not oriented to sustainable development, and we were not very happy either. The idea of our economies should be well-being, not wealth. So we have to get off the obsession or the addiction with GDP as being our purpose. It's not our purpose. Our purpose is human well-being. And once we understand that, then the 3 pillars of sustainable development, meeting economic needs, social justice and inclusion, and environmental sustainability are all key pillars of well-being. And we therefore need to reorient our purpose and then reorient our policies. And part of this is overcoming our long-standing addiction and misunderstanding, thinking that money is the route to happiness. We should have known from our ancient philosophers and sages that that's not quite right. And now we really see that the desire for wealth, if it is just uncontrolled, is leading to our own self-destruction.
Thank you, Professor Sachs, for such an important speech. Your words were so inspiring, and we will discuss with other guests. And I know that you have to leave us, so thank you for being
Thank you.
with
Great
us.
to be with you. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.